Good evening, and it's Lilia and Claire here from Scotland's Wild Medicine, and we have had a Wild Medicine month, and we're just buzzing in all the testimonies and how much everybody has enjoyed the festivals, and obviously our first retreat at Loch Allen. How are you doing? Have you recovered?
I've recovered fine. I'm wondering about you because you've had like 3 weeks solid of just
Of wild
absolute
medicine.
wild medicine. So you're probably like super healthy, actually.
Honestly, high as a kite. Really, it's been. I mean, I was tired last night. I will not deny that. I was in my bed at 6 o'clock. But yeah, the feedback from everything, I mean, it's just been incredible. And I think, yeah, I mean, we know wild medicine's a thing. We know it works.
We
We've
know it
got
works.
the data, but it's still so rewarding, to have. And it's just exciting, I think, because, when we wrote the book, obviously the posting and all of that sort of stuff, there's an element of work in there, and you never really know how it's going to go, do you?
Sure.
We knew it was a beautiful thing, but to see it take off in the way that it's taken off is really warms the cockles of your heart.
It certainly does. Absolutely.
Of course, we were lucky, weren't we, with the weather at Loch
Exactly. That's what
Allen
I was
as well.
about to say. Yeah, we've been super lucky with the weather the past few weeks as well. That definitely makes everything so much more pleasant. And yeah, spring is in the air. It's Beltane Eve. Tomorrow is May Day, May the 1st. So yeah, Fire Festival, that's us. We're in the thick of it. So just watch out for all those witches and fairies tonight, everyone.
And remember, and wash your face in the dew. I used to do that.
Especially with the Lady's Mantle, the dew from the Lady's Mantle, Alchemilla vulgaris. The alchemists used to believe that the dew that is formed in the leaves and held in the leaves had magical properties. So if you want to get super magical on May Day, on Beltane Day, then get yourself some dew from the Lady's Mantle leaves and wash your face in that. That's what I'll be doing first thing in the morning anyway.
I'll need to Google it first and then go out and hope I can find it.
Plant ID.
My plant dyslexia.
Well, it's an easy one to identify because it looks, the reason it's called Lady's Mantle is because it looks like an old-fashioned ruff, that ladies used to wear back in, I don't know what century that was. I'm not very good with dates, I have to say.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, I'm going to say like 1600s, hazard a guess. But yeah.
Cool. Okay, now let's just quickly talk about our book giveaway.
Yay!
So we're going to be giving away books for Beltane Day, Beltane book giveaway. So it'll be like and share our page, and the top 3 will be getting a free book posted out. That's Marion saying, I'm going to do that with my Lady's Mantle. She'll have some magic.
Excellent.
So I expect everybody to post a picture of their face on Thursday. Before and after.
Giveaway, you have to post a picture of your face.
It needs to be bloody magic, I tell you. Yeah, so let's talk about May's Wild Medicine. I mean, obviously, from my perspective, in terms of the elements, we're going into so much more light, which has so many health benefits, as we all know, for vitamin D synthesis and the pineal gland, which everybody's talking about these days, and how we can, without contact lenses or sunglasses preferably, for an hour a day, we can really have a big impact on our vitamin absorption. But what about the plants? Tell us about the plants.
Well, we're really kind of in full swing of it now. April and May is just spring in its element. And I mean, obviously during the retreat, we were feasting every day on, there was nettles, I think, in every meal.
Yeah.
So prime time for spring greens. I mean, actually, further south in the country, your greens might even be starting to run over at this. Not quite yet, but maybe further on in May. But here in the West Highlands and also in Argyll and further north, you'll still be picking nettles. There'll be the wild garlic will be starting to flower, so you'll be able to start using the wild garlic flowers, which are really super spicy and pungent. There's plenty of flowers around at this time of year, so I've been picking dog violets. There's cherry blossom out. There's Darwin's barberry out. There's obviously loads of dandelions, which also featured really heavily on the retreat. I've been eating cuckoo flower this week, so that's a kind of spicy, mustardy flavoured plant. It's also known as lady smock. So we were eating that in our salads as well. The primroses here have been amazing this year. So we've had loads of primrose flowers just to add to salads and, you know, make herbal teas with. The leaves of primrose are also edible as well, so you can get them into your salads. And for us here just now, we're kind of in prime time for tree salad as well. So all the leaves of the trees are just starting to come out. So here and further north, this is the time to be eating your deciduous tree leaves in a salad, because once they're out fully, they start to get a bit more tough and bitter. Still edible, but you know, less delicious. So really now is the time to be getting all that green diversity in there and really clearing out the last of the winter and you know, embracing the season of spring. So yeah, loads of tree salad.
I've not heard of that before.
Well, I'm surprised you've definitely eaten it before.
Oh, I know, but I'm so going to use that.
Tree salad. So yeah, so things like you know, our linden or lime trees, that their leaves are very delicious. Young beech leaves. Hawthorn is probably starting to get a wee bit on the tough side. So hawthorn tends to come out a bit earlier, the leaf. But it's still edible, like I say. It's actually probably starting to flower further south. We're not quite at the flowering stage yet, but it will be flowering this month. So that's another really good one to look out for. What else have we got? There's rowan, and the rowan buds will also be harvestable this month. So they have a really pleasant kind of almondy flavour. So quite good for if you want that almond flavour in drinks or in you know, foods as well. Yeah, just abundance. It gets to this time of year and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's not enough time and everything's here, you know.
I know Marian's asking about this Sitka spruce buds. Yeah, I eat them. They're delicious.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Marion. Yeah, so the tips of the spruce, they are just starting to peek out here now as well, and they are really delicious. So, you know, you can obviously just chuck them into salads. You can stir fry them. I like to infuse them in vinegar. They make a really nice infused vinegar that you can then use as salad dressing or, you know, as a marinade. I've also made spruce tip salt in the past. That's a really nice one. In fact, that was on one of the dishes during the retreat. I made a tomato salad that had all kinds of wonderful things in it. And I also infused them in honey. So most of our conifers, bar yew, so you can't eat yew, that's toxic. Most of the conifers are edible. So the nicest part to eat is the tip of the spruce, obviously, when it just that really vibrant green bit that comes out of the end of the branch. And yeah, you know, you can really throw them into anything. It's just got this flavour that's there's nothing quite like it, you know, it's strong, and there's nothing quite like it. But most of them also have quite potent antimicrobial properties as well. So, you know, you'd be really helping yourself. I mean, there's so much going around at the moment. I've literally had, out of 5 patients that I had booked in today, I've had 4 cancellations, and some of them are due to sickness. You know, there's some really pretty nasty respiratory infections going around.
I know. I was the same. I went into the salon, back-to-back clients, first 2 clients sick.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, because it's quite late for that to be happening. You kind of expect that November, December, don't you? But now
so normally I expect it really kind of at the turn of the season, going into the winter and actually coming out of the winter and into the spring. Often you'll see it as well. So that would be the times that I would traditionally think, okay, people are going to get sick. But, you know, it seems to be really, really carrying on. And this year seems to be a real nasty one, especially for coughs and things. So yeah, so get your conifers into you.
Now, you mentioned cherry blossom there. I love cherry blossom. My mum, she had a gorgeous big one in the garden. The only thing is always they don't really last as long as you would like them to because they're so beautiful. But what would you do with the cherry blossom?
Well, you can just eat them, again, like anything, you can just eat them fresh, chuck them into salad.
Really?
But you can salt them down, and the salt kind of helps to draw out the really kind of fragrant, aromatic properties of it. And then once you, and then you can fix it in some vinegar as well. So yeah, you can make all kinds of, actually in Japanese cuisine, they use cherry blossoms a bit. They make various preparations with them. So get researching.
Well, of course they would, because they have them, they're quite famous for that, aren't they?
Yeah. And, interestingly, with our wild foods, I always think there is a big crossover between what's available in Japan and in Scotland. Like, we actually have fairly similar climates,
Really?
and not necessarily climates, but I guess like habitats, so lots of sea, lots of coast, lots of mountains, lots of woodlands. Yeah. So it would make sense that we have kind of similar flavors and like similar plants and crossover, the ability to use those ingredients in similar ways, particularly our coastal things. So
we did a wild banquet. Oh, the royal we, not me, actually. I ate it. But John and his team and Jane, she was fantastic. But a friend of John's had gone out and he just basically brought huge big black bin bags full of all sorts of different foraged herbs and flowers and like that. The one same as we're eating at Loch Allen, but obviously we're feeding like 80 people. So there's a lot. I was like, I had loads of mushrooms as well. And yeah, it was so nice. And everybody, a bit like on our retreat, everybody starts talking about their bowels, right? Because obviously that kind of food, it just moves everything through the body. And I can see when they come to us, because obviously you're getting a lot of vegetables and a lot of wild food put through your body. But at the festival, it was really only one meal and still people could feel that. And then we restricted the Kaylee, so you've got, people had energy.
To nothing dance. Like a good Kaylee to get your bowels moving, eh?
Well, exactly. It's that's the third Kaylee we've had over the festivals, and you forget how much people enjoy it. It's such a laugh, primarily because you're laughing at each other because you're all going the wrong way in the wrong direction and swinging round. You can see the few people that can remember it from school, or that go to more than once in a decade. But there's so many health benefits from it. And, it's like you and I always talk about this. Why are we looking out to other countries for food when we've got so much abundance and superabundance? I mean, I think I've known about the dandelion, but I've really, really come to love the dandelion this year as well. And the nettles, of course. The nettles. People were loving the T-shirt. We sold a lot more of these T-shirts as well. So,
brilliant! I should have been wearing mine tonight. Actually,
yes, yeah. It's so nice because you're basically rebranding the dandelion and the nettle and daisies as well. Like the stuff that we just mow down mindlessly without any understanding of the huge power within all these plants. And don't you think it's because if something's quite prolific, you just assume it's worthless, when in actual fact, the nettle and the dandelion are, the healing properties are absolutely massive.
Absolutely,
We've had phenomenal feedback from our retreat, which has been amazing, and I think people really enjoyed having a bathroom to themselves.
Especially with all those increased
the wild food. And I think it's nice to have your own ensuite. You can go for a shower. Like everybody gets their own room. There's a shower and a toilet. Everything's en suite. So when you come back from the swim, you can get straight into your shower. If you are having issues or whatever with not even issues, just your bowels are actually moving the way they're supposed to move. It's nice to be able to know you can go to your own room and have a bit of privacy with that. So I think that is actually really nice. I know a few people have said that to me about it, and also having that spectacular little beach 5 minutes from the door.
Yeah.
And also
It's a
that
great spot.
that it was such a sun trap just outside the base camp, because I have to
Yeah.
say, in Skye there was no sun traps. It was just that
Oh,
howling, icy wind. Beautiful blue skies, but oh my god, that wind was really
yeah.
cold. But I mean, it was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it was
Yeah.
nice that we could actually sit outside and be warm and actually be quite
Yes.
hot some days.
Yeah, it's great at the base camp there because it's so sheltered and you've got that lovely decking and the woods and the sea, and yeah, it's beautiful.
Exactly. So we're back there, and then obviously the highlight. Well, was it the highlight for us? And I'm sure
A
for
night
the
of
guests,
cooking.
the food was incredible. But it was so lovely for us in the Sunday night to all go to the restaurant with everyone and just sit and blather and be entertained by our
Yes,
guests.
by our lovely and incredibly talented participants who wrote some songs based around their experiences at the retreat, which
I know, and
literally
poems.
made me laugh and cry. It
I
was
know.
just the most mind-blowing experience being
Yeah,
serenaded.
absolutely. And it's, yeah, I think it's so nice to see people with that level of joy
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
them. Yeah, it was just amazing. So, what's in the book in May?
Oh my god. I might have to go and get a copy.
Sorry for just dropping that into you.
Let
The
me
reason I'm
see.
asking that is because wait, is mine up there? Here's mine. That's terrible, isn't it?
It's been a few years since I've written it, Lilia, so I've forgotten.
No, I know, but I tell you why. It's because I think it's really handy for people to take photographs when they're
Okay.
going foraging, and
So
then they
that's-
can,
Uh-huh.
it's so good for identity. If they're like me, and they forget by the time they've left the house, it's a
So-
really handy tip to take a photograph from the book because they're nice big images.
Okay,
Idiot
yeah.
proof.
Yeah. So hawthorn, which we've already spoken about.
Yes.
So this is going to be flowering this month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, weather permitting.
Yeah.
It's also called Mayflower, so that gives you a bit of a clue. And we've got
And what's
Sticky
the-
Willy as well, which is out at the moment.
Yes.
So
Can you
it's
run us
gallium.
through the medicinal benefits?
Yeah, so Sticky Willy or gallium cleavers is a lymphatic. So we spoke a bit about this last month, actually, in terms of cleansing through the lymphatic system. So it does also have diuretic properties as well. So so you can use it to help draw fluids out of the tissues. So it's basically cleaning your lymphatic system. So your lymphatic system kind of runs alongside your circulatory system, but it doesn't have a pump like your heart. So it does need a little bit of help sometimes clearing up all that excess, basically catches all the kind of byproducts of metabolism out of your cells and then excretes them into your lymphatic channels and then eventually into your out through your kidneys and your liver. So it does also have some use in terms of swollen glands and certain types of infection as well. So it's really another great spring cleanse. It's often used in for skin problems as well, because obviously when people have skin problems, we want to increase the other channels of elimination through the body, because as we know, our skin is our biggest organ and it's one of our major routes of elimination of waste products through the body. So it's really helpful for that. Some people also use it for bladder infections and supporting the urinary tract as well. So that's Sticky Willy. And of course you can eat it. You can add it into soups and things like that. It's being sticky, it's obviously got that slightly abrasive quality, so it's probably better quite young and cooked, although you can eat it when it's very young, raw in salads and things as well.
And you can put it in your brother's bed
if you want. I mean, if you're that kind of if you really love your brother.
Could you make tea out the flowers?
Well, the flowers are really small, so
Are
it's a bit of a, you can just make tea out of the whole plant, or you
Right,
can do
okay.
like a cold overnight infusion with it. So you can just add the whole plant to a jug of water and infuse it overnight, and then drink the infusion the next day. And that's a really good way to take it.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant.
And the
So
other thing
what
you
else?
can do,
Sticky willow,
cleavers. Really.
cleavers, yes, yeah.
Cleavers or sticky willy. It's also known as goosegrass in some parts of the UK. It's
Right.
Gallium aperine for those who want the special sciencey name. The other thing you can do with it when it gets a bit larger is you can actually juice it and then freeze the juice in ice cube trays and pop that into smoothies or soups, and that's like a really highly concentrated extract of it.
So you could just add it into your juice that you're making anyway.
Yep, absolutely.
I never thought of doing that.
Yeah.
So what, you could juice
I mean, you
nettles
can do that
as
with a lot of herbs. They're just very strong tasting. Obviously, when wild foods generally have much stronger flavors than a lot of our cultivated vegetables. So
yes.
if you are going to be juicing them, then for some people it can be like too much.
You need to just not overdose it.
Because juicing, obviously, you're getting this really kind of concentrated extract anyway. So
what would you say? Because we know that quite often the plants pop up at the time that we need them.
Yeah.
So in terms of, the kind of chest infection pandemic that seems to be going on, it's like I actually thought I could feel my chest wheezy. I've not felt my chest wheezy for years, but I think it's because I was laughing that much.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, but I thought I could feel there was something in there. Touch wood, the next day I got up and I can't feel. I got a wee bit of a cough, but I wouldn't, there's nothing at all in terms of compared to what other people are having. So what would you, is Hawthorn get anything to that?
What's about that's wild, that you can use for that? So at the moment, we've still got coltsfoot that's around. So coltsfoot is, its botanical name is Tussilago farfara, and an antitussive means it stops coughs. So it's been used for centuries to treat coughs. It's really for short-term use only. It looks a bit like a dandelion, the flower, and it starts to come up in quite early spring. The difference between the obvious difference between the coltsfoot and the dandelion is the stem has these small, almost looks like little scales or leaflets on the stem, whereas a dandelion stem is completely smooth. Flowers come up before the leaves, so you can use the flowers and the leaves to treat coughs. And the leaves have quite a white, kind of almost furry underside. They're quite broad. It's really prolific weed when you find patches of it. So that's a good one to use, short-term use only at the moment. And I was just thinking about wild garlic, as an anti-infective. There's plenty of that still around. Obviously, garlic keeps vampires away, kills everything. So that's another really good one to be using just now. So those would probably be a good choice for coughs.
My mum used to always rub Vicks on us when we get the cold for that. Is that, I don't even know what's in that, but is that something people still use?
Yeah, it is. I think it's like camphor and menthol and stuff like that. It's like extracts from essential oils. And obviously steam inhalations and using essential oils help as decongestants and to reduce infection as well. So, a lot of volatile oils or essential oils are produced by plants to ward off infection. That's their function in plants. So they have the same properties in humans. So a lot of the essential oils, think about tea tree, it's antiviral, it's antibacterial, and it's antifungal. So many of the volatile oils that are found in plants are also have that effect in humans as well.
So fascinating.
Which brings me on to the last plant that's in the book for May, which is pine. And we've already mentioned conifers and their antimicrobial properties, but pine in particular is very good for respiratory tract infections. So that would be another one to be looking at this time of year when the needles are nice and fresh and green and there's plenty of life in them. So pine.
I think our recipe for that is shortbread, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. Everybody loves that recipe, the pine needle shortbread.
I know. I know. Yeah, Marian's saying we made that chest rub in November. Yes. And do you know what? That's right,
Yes.
Marian. I forgot about that because I was using it on my aunt. I think we
Yes.
finished it off. Yes.
That was like the herbal version of Vicks, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I
Gosh,
forgot all
Marion,
about
can you
that.
remember what we put in it? Because I can't even remember. Was it pine as well? Can't remember. Maybe it was bay. We've made so many chest rubs. Grips, I've forgotten. But yeah, that's
Marian,
right.
can you remember what we put in it? Anyway, so that would be another nice thing actually, probably for people that are just to soothe
Absolutely.
the chest.
Especially if there's
yeah.
like a lot of, if it's a kind of spasmodic cough and you want to kind of really relax those muscles and the bronchioles. And sometimes if you're really coughing, all your accessory muscles of breathing will be tense and inflamed. So something just to loosen that up and relax those muscles and, relax the bronchioles as well would be fantastic. So an external rub like that would work wonders. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. So that's, the medicines, I suppose, that we make in April, probably going to be quite different than the ones we're going to be making in November, because it does. What we did this year, we talked about what we could see in the Genius Insight, and how people could then make a medicine that was maybe relevant to them. But obviously, if you have any, it seems to make sense to make the medicine that you kind of need at the time, or the medicine that your kid needs, or your whoever that you're going to make the medicine for, if you feel you don't need some yourself. But I think
that's it.
Going into winter, it's the chest, looking after the chest and the lungs, and so let's just quickly, before we go, run through the kind of itinerary that we have for the retreat, because we've added things in, and obviously the change in location. We got into your medicine garden, so we're right there, pretty much 5 minutes walk from your medicine garden, so people can go there and pick their own plants and make their own medicines. I just think that's amazing.
Yeah,
I love that.
Such a great opportunity, isn't it? And really just connecting with that garden. Yeah.
Don't you think that's the first retreat that I've seen so many people that grew their own food?
Yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful. And it's so nice to see, I suppose, where you live, because there's a few people came, that were quite close by, that there's definitely, it's changing, isn't it? People are much more interested and aware about the food. And if you can't grow your own, then certainly being able to forage, your salad, I think is, you're going to get the diversity there without having to worry about cost. Because, organic food, there's a cost to that. Let's not kid on.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you can grow your own, I think here, because we are way out in what I call the Wild West, we're 40 miles in a ferry trip from the nearest supermarket. So you are limited to what you can actually buy here. So actually, for a lot of people, it is easier to grow your own food than it is to be driving up to, to civilization to go and buy plastic packaged stuff from the supermarket. So it just becomes more of a way of life, really, than it's necessity.
I really felt that, I have to say, at this retreat. I think obviously before, I've visited you plenty of times, but obviously taking some of the food in that we needed for the retreat and knowing that you better not forget anything.
Yes.
Because, and then also sort of realizing, oh God, if you can't be bothered cooking here, you're going to starve. You can't just,
well, that's you're forced. Yeah, you can't just.
Yeah, you're forced to
just
always.
Order the
takeaway. No, it's really interesting. You've got the White House there, obviously, but you're not going to go there like every Sunday night when you can't be bothered cooking. Yeah,
exactly.
That so became.
It does kind of force you to be a bit more responsible about your food choices, and as you say, you do have to be quite organized and think about what you're going to be making in advance. Yeah.
Marian's saying there was plantain in it and oils.
Yes, the plantain oil. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, nice. Yeah, and the essential oils. Thanks, Marian, for the memory jog
I'm
there.
just go and have a wee look, because I think maybe we finished it though last year. Because my aunt's been plagued with a cough for years, on and off, to various degrees. But it's it wakes her up through the night, and it's quite distressing for her. It's never really been able to fully, because considering how much better she is, she's so much more well now than she was. But that's just one thing that kind of lingers just in the background. It kind of kills her energy a wee bit. However, I think that's us covered everything then. So we've got you're up in and I'm tagging along because I'm a Lynbreck lover. So you're up there in July, but these 2 days are both sold out now, yeah?
Both sold out, yep.
Yeah.
I have other courses as well, obviously. So get on my Facebook or Instagram if you want to see other public courses that I'm doing. Down on Seal and Easdale. Which will include some seaweed foraging and obviously, wild plants, various different locations. So that is not this weekend coming, but the weekend after, which is the 11th and 12th of May.
I'll tag me in that, and I'll share it again with my friends, because people forget. You keep reminding them. And we've got our wild medicine retreat. I'm doing a 3-day water fasting retreat at Barmolach in September. Vida's doing family constellations, and then I'm going to come on at the end. So you can do one or the other, or you can do both together and have the full mad mental experience. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be interesting. Or day of family constellations, a day of breath work, and a day of letting go. So that'll be a really interesting one. Yeah, so I think, and obviously you're going to come at some point to the Healing Hub. Everybody's like, is Claire coming? Is Claire coming? I'm like, bloody Claire. The elusive Pimpernel.
Have you not had enough of her yet? Yeah.
So and then I said, I will use all my influence to get this famous Claire Doohan up here.
Yeah, you haven't pinned me down with a date yet, but we'll get on that for it's early next year. But
it'll be near the end of February.
Retreat begins on the 31st of October. So that's
right.
the tail end of this year, isn't it? So so the bookings are open for that now through the Heal Scotland website.
It starts in the Thursday and finishes on the Monday. So make sure that you have the travel time ready and right, and so that you know how to get there. And then if you've got any questions, you can just ping us a message and we'll let you know. Well, I think that's us then. We covered everything. If anybody's got any questions, they want to ping them in, or if you're watching this on replay, ping them in and we'll get round to it. And I think that's all from us.
Stay wild, everyone.
Yeah, wild medicine. Ciao, guys.